after studying the work of researcher Dan Gibson, who repeatedly claimed he had never seen Mecca on any geographical map until 200 years after the Hijra, I decided to verify his claims. After months of cross-referencing, I can say with near absolute certainty that his assertion is correct. Not only is Mecca absent from ancient and late antique maps, there is no evidence it was ever a commercial center. This conclusion is built on three strong, non-refutable pillars. First, the evidence from maps and documents. I examined dozens of business letters, receipts, and sales documents from between 580 and 620 AD, written in Syriac, Greek, Latin, and Chinese by merchants trading in the region. These documents mention trade in frankincense, leather, and other goods. While the names Yathrib, later Medina, and Taif appear several times, there is absolutely no trace or mention of Mecca. Let's look at these two images, taken from the authoritative German reference, the Historical Atlas of the Ancient World. This first map shows trade routes in the Hellenistic period up to the 1st century BC. The second map dates to the 2nd century AD. As you can see, trade routes clearly pass through places like the port of Lukcombe, running to Yathrib, Dedan, and Petra. Yathrib was a known historical city on the trade route, but in neither of these detailed maps is there any mention of Mecca. The question for traditional historians is this: if Islamic history claims Mecca was a major and important commercial center, why is it the only city missing from these maps when dozens of other locations are named? Second, the evidence from coins. The field of numismatics also confirms the absence of a city named Mecca. The very first time a coin was minted with the name Mecca was in the year 201 after the rise of the Arabs, or as Muslims would say, 201 after Hijra. Think about that. They say Mecca was the origin of Islam, yet they waited 200 years to mint a coin for it. Why? Because a place called Mecca likely didn't exist before then. A second silver coin was minted in the year 203. This suggests that the Abbasid caliphs probably established Mecca as the center for Muslims just a few years before the year 200 after Hijra. And third, the evidence from historical opposition. Among the first to rise up against this new, designated holy place were the Qarmatians. They refused to accept this blasphemy. As history records, the Qarmatians attacked Mecca on January 11th, 930 AD, massacred the pilgrims, and took the Black Stone. They broke it into pieces and only returned the fragments 20 years later after the Fatimids of Egypt mediated and paid them a huge sum of money. When early Islamic historians like Ibn Hisham and Al-Tabari were writing their history, they could never have imagined that one day this simple question would be asked: why isn't Mecca on any trade maps? For centuries, the universally accepted Islamic historiography meant that no one even thought to question the historical existence of Mecca. But if Mecca didn't exist, what happens to the thousands of narrations and hadiths from Islamic historians? How can the migration of Muhammad from Mecca to Medina be explained? What becomes of Islamic history if its very foundation is gone? It is up to the audience to ask representatives of traditional history why Mecca did not exist on the maps. The absence of Mecca on early maps and in trade documents, the late appearance of its name on coins, and the violent early opposition to its sacred status present a powerful, evidence-based challenge to the traditional historical narrative. Does this evidence change how we should view the origins of Islam? Can the traditional history withstand this level of scrutiny? We want to hear your thoughts. As the author of this research states, the primary goal is the search for truth. If you have access to a historical map that shows Mecca as a trade center, please share the source in the comments below. We'll be very happy to see it. For more deep dives that question everything, subscribe to Dali. Thanks for watching.